All right, good day, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another Live the Fuel show. So, we're following a new format here in 2023, bringing back a repeat guest co-host, and we're going to try and make this happen monthly, only because I get a kick out of the guy. I hope he gets a kick out of me. He's coming back on the show all the time. So welcome back. We got Chuck Wood, a.k.a. Charles Wood, and we just aired him in June 2023 as his return. We're kind of banking the shows. And as a quick refresher, besides his wonderful laugh, Chuck and I basically connected through an author's mastermind to help us get our first books out. And then fast forward, however many years it is, we've still been staying in touch and talking business and talking consulting and talking about annoying people on social media, to the point where I think we have a virtual bromance in the professional terms. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know. My wife calls it that with other dudes who always try and call her or me to hang out. And she's like, you got too many bromances. I'm like, well, what defines, let's start the show off right there, Chuck. For one, is bromance ever used in your world? Is this a piece of your vernacular in your world, personally or professionally?
Not really.
Okay.
No. I mean,
do you follow
I definitely have some guys. I have some guys I hang out with on a regular basis.
We have friends, right? Quote, air quote friends, people watching on the video. There's friendships. There's colleagues. There's I have colleagues that have become friends, right? So there's those types of things. And to be fair, again, you and I still have never met in person.
Right.
So I'm on the East Coast here in Allentown, Pennsylvania. You're not. Is it Pacific time in Utah?
No, it's Mountain Time.
That's right, Mountain Time. So we got a few hours difference. We got a few time zones. So, but we still find an excuse to catch up. God bless Zoom, I guess. Yeah. Right. But I just thought it was funny because my wife's like, "You talking to your author buddy again?" And she's like, "Aren't your books already up?" I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Why do you keep hanging out?" I'm like, "I don't know. It works." Yeah. I was like, you've been through a lot of things. I've been through a lot of things. It's just fun because you and I have such different backgrounds. So again, for newer listeners of the show, you come from the crazy technology space, programming, and even though you're in the programming and software development world, et cetera, me, I'm a sales and marketing pro, man. I could sell anything. And my primary client base is focused in the HVAC industry. But I play around the other world too, online marketing. I've worked on crowdfunding projects. I've helped launch documentary films, et cetera, et cetera. And then the biggest alignment for you and I, thanks to that author group, was it turns out you and I are both podcasters. So, but you play at a much higher level. So there's a quick summation for the newer listeners. If you want, go back, listen to the prior episodes with Chuck. Again, just search his name, Chuck Wood, Charles Wood. And so, Chuck, I just thought I'd start off with the bromance thing because my wife is gone today on girl. See, here's the thing. You can't call them girlmances or chica mances, or this doesn't work. The bromance thing rolls around.
Yeah, it doesn't.
But I was like, "What?" She said, "Hey, I need your car today." And I said, "Well, we just bought a used Jeep Wrangler for the fun car, because I put so many miles in my new vehicle for my business travels, and she can't drive her new Toyota 4Runner, which is her veterinary business vehicle." I'm like, the whole point is you drive the Jeep on your day off. Right. She's like, "Yeah, but it's gonna be 6 of us." I'm like, 6 of you? What are you doing? Yeah. She's like, "Oh, we're going to the Devon Horse Show." It's like, oh, that's right. That's like an annual thing. Like they get the sundresses on and and I guess Devon. Oh, really? There's like a horse show in Devon. Maybe it's Devon, Pennsylvania. As you can tell, I've never gone. Don't care. But she needed to fill my car up with ladies and drive them down there because nobody has a vehicle large enough for 6 people. And then she goes and busts on the car, Chuck, and she goes, "Well, you're the only one out of our circle that has a mommy car." And I was like, dude, okay. So one, you're not going to take your new fun Jeep that we're sharing for the fun car because you can't fit 6 people in. I just crossed on my 2021. It's a hybrid Toyota Highlander SUV. I just hit 61,000 miles, bro, this week. It's a 2021. Wow. I bought it new.
2-year-old car. Yeah.
2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That shows how much hustling I've been doing. And
Yeah.
I was like, okay, you want to take the car? Fine. And this vehicle has a third row. I've never flipped them up because I don't have kids like you. So I was like, you can't call it a family car or a mommy car. I said, there's usually merchandise and stuff for trade shows and marketing events and everything else in there. I never flipped the third row up. She's like, well, that's why I need to borrow it. I was like, well, then in the future, what's mine is yours. We're married. And I'm a pass-through sole proprietorship. So I didn't bother putting the car in the business name so I could drive it whenever I want. And I own my company, so who cares? But I was like, maybe not bust on your husband's car. And then don't call my online professional relationships through publishing books and podcasting a bromance. Because I mentioned that. She's like,
right.
Because I told her we were connecting tonight. She's like, Chuck, who's Chuck? I was like, you haven't met Chuck. He's the online guy. She said, we podcast together. And she said, oh, the author guy. I said, yeah. And he lives in one of our favorite states for skiing, Utah. She's like, yeah, I know. She's like, well, have fun with your bromance. I was like, he's not a bromance. I was like, we've never even met in person. I feel like there should be a threshold. Like, what are your thoughts on that? What would establish a bromance? I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, my wife, so she's got her friends.
Right.
And, I mean, her stuff's at a much higher level, right?
Sure.
I mean, they get together without fail every week. She and her two friends.
Yeah. Let's be real. I studied psychology, and I learned that a long time ago. I was like, us guys, we suck at actually this. Like, women, they have a much better, they do a much better job keeping that tight inner circle, and it is inner circle. Which us guys, we have that too. Like, I have lots of connections, lots of friends, but there is that trusted inner circle.
Oh yeah.
But we're not religious.
Funny enough for me, the guys that I get together most often are her two best friends' husbands.
Well, and now through marriage, you can create crossover. Right. Girl, I can't even. Girl, you can't call it a girl dance. What is it? Your girls?
Yeah.
The girl squad. I don't know.
Yeah, but the thing is they go way deeper on the personal intimacy kind of thing than we do, right?
Yeah. If there's ladies listening or watching this, DM me on the socials and through @LiveTheFuel, and just help me understand. I'm open to criticism and feedback, and then I could text Chuck and be like, "Yo, we got an answer on that." Because what do you call the girls? I don't know. I don't know. But these are all girls that she jumps horses with every Wednesday. So she's got different squads. There's the oldest friend Jen, who's her old neighbor friend Jen, when she was with her prior relationship before me. So that was 9 years of being a neighbor. That's now one of her old school besties. Then there's the old high school girlfriends, which I don't have any friends from high school. I'm not like that at all. She's got 3 core girls from that. Then fast forward, she's got my client, which is her bestie. And now her besties, that client and bestie, and her boyfriend, Steven, is actually now one of my closer inner circle friends. But I mean, I have different circles. I have my biking, my cycling circle world. We've got our ski friends. So there's also stuff paired around sports and activities. So, but yes, there has been some cross-pollination through relationships and marriage. And then, God forbid, those relationships break up. Doesn't that create a conundrum in the inner circle of trust? Have you ever had any of those?
Yeah, it does. Not in particular. They're one of the couples, so that it's kind of 3 couples, and it's funny because we spend most of our time, the men and the women. But anyway, one of the couples had some pretty serious marital stuff going on, and it's there was a whole bunch of I'm not taking sides, right? Or anyway,
that happened actually to me. I mean.
Yeah, they stay together, so
they did stay together. Okay.
Yeah.
And actually, here's fun. I've been podcasting for so many years. This has been annoying me. I have the nice Rodecaster Pro board. Check this out.
I can't hear you.
No? Oh, maybe that's what. Let me switch back.
Oh, you're real. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
You
having
were
issues.
like real quiet.
Yeah, like right now, I'm talking through the microphone on the webcam. I don't know what's going on. I thought I'd share that with you real quick too, because I was like, dude, this is like a $600 board, and I have this wonderful microphone in front of me, and it's not grabbing it. I don't know what's going on. So anyway, as long as you can hear me fine, the audience will hear me fine. We're good. More
the latest. I got onto the call late, but the latest addition to my setup is I've got things set up now so I could turn on the lights here. I could turn on the other camera, because I've just got a webcam that I'm talking to you on. It is using the microphone, but the green screen, I got that all set up. And so I've been putting together courses and, putting fun stuff up behind me and stuff. So that's been fun. No struggles.
Well, I get to work on that this weekend. So, and I hate timestamping some of these because I don't know when it's going to release, but technically you and I are recording this on the Friday before Memorial Day. So a lot of people are going to be trying to take an extra day the following Monday. And who knows, people are going on vacations, people are taking trips, yada, yada, yada. So I'm going to be actually staying around the home front. So I will be lacking my quote bromances because a lot of people are going away or whatever. And I'm like, yo, I'll be here. I'll be grilling. I'm going to wield my chainsaw this weekend a little bit because I do it all the time.
Oh, nice.
Actually,
I'm not going anywhere either.
Yeah, where are you staying local?
The day after. So for Memorial Day, I'll be here, but the day after, there's a conference in Amsterdam, and they've paid for my flight and hotel and everything out there. Nice. So I'm heading out there for a week.
Nice. Amsterdam is on the travel list. We're not going to be anywhere near that next year.
It's a cool city.
We're going to Greece, so at least we'll be over the pond, so to speak. But and Kristen,
I've always wanted to go to Greece.
There's so much history there, and again, Amsterdam. That's Netherlands, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think we're gonna fly through there because London sucks. The last international trip, Kristen went to Croatia last year, and trying to get back through what's that airport called in London? The big one. I forget what it's called. Heathrow. It's huge. Heathrow. It was awful. Yeah. And the other half of her travel group went through Amsterdam as the hub before connecting back to the US. No issues. They said Amsterdam was the smoothest, easiest experience they've ever experienced in an airport. So I was like, okay, from now on, any future trips we're planning overseas, I'm going to go through Amsterdam. So, or hopefully stop there.
I've only flown in and out. Yeah. Okay. I haven't tried to change planes or anything there.
See, that's fun. Yeah. I mean, and again, we just totally flipped the switch from bromance, but I think we spent enough time on that. We'll figure out how to define that properly later. And again, it's okay, ladies and gentlemen, that if you build these, actually, let's close that subject out properly, though. The beauty of connecting, whether it be in person, online, personally, or professionally, or all the above, is we can grow connections like this and bounce ideas off of each other. Like you've shared some great trials and tribulations with me over the years. I've shared the same. We bounce ideas off each other. I would like to think when we get off the microphones and the camera, we go back over the next few weeks and it reinvigorates some hustle. Because that's how you and I started our relationship. Basically racing each other on completing a book.
Yep. Yeah, pretty much.
And now fast forward to today, we stay connected because both of us still need to publish it in an audiobook form. But you've been busy publishing online courses and building a new phase of your online business. And now, obviously, with the latest point here, you're back to doing some international travel, which is exciting.
Yep. Yeah.
How does one do that?
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Why don't you share that? Share that for the audience. How does one? And again, the fun here, I'll go ahead and give you the hack, ladies and gentlemen. This doesn't happen overnight. You got to put in some sweat equity and put in the reps, so to speak.
A little bit.
I'll let Chuck explain that. But apparently, everyone's passive income, Chuck, and everybody wants to just turn on an online business, start making money, and quit their job tomorrow, and then become a speaker like you or a trainer or whatever, and then get invited and paid to go to another country. But Chuck, that's easy, right?
Yeah, once you've got all the pieces in place. getting all the pieces in place is another story. So,
Yeah.
I've been podcasting since 2008, and I have one of the largest JavaScript podcasts out there.
And
And
real quick
so,
pause for non-techies. JavaScript is a language in the programming world. Was
yeah,
that simple enough?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Basically, all of the interactive programming that happens in like websites is written in JavaScript.
Yep.
So
I know I have to accept my JavaScript updates from time to time. So yeah.
So anyway, yeah. So essentially, you know, I mean, podcasting for what, 16, 15 years, something like that now, you know, and having this particular podcast, about 10 years old, gets about 10, 11, 12,000 downloads every episode we put out. So they reached out to us, the conference reached out to us and said, hey, you know, can we do some kind of promotion with you guys? And I got back to him and I said, you know what, that'd be great. Here are some of the ideas I have, right? I can either come out to the conference, you can give me I'm actually going to be on the expo floor with my own booth.
Nice.
That was the other piece that they gave me, right?
So well, you're not bringing a booth kit over with you then, right? You're just
they
shipping
put the
over?
whole thing together for me.
Oh.
They put the whole thing together for me.
Dude,
they're like, get us your logo, we'll set it up.
What?
Right? Yeah.
Okay. That's all right. I love overseas business. Other countries care a lot more. I truly, this is confirming it again. Every time I hear stories like this, I go to a lot of trade shows. And for my clients, contracts with her manufacturers, and then we go in and represent the manufacturers and build a whole booth and yada, yada, yada. But they got to ship in their own booth kit. They got to bring they're shipping out like the retractable signage, banners, etc.
Yep.
And not once have I ever heard of a trade show saying, hey, we're going to go ahead and do all that for you.
Yep.
I love it.
The last one I went to in New York City, they did it too.
Okay, you got a different world, man. This programmer world's pretty badass.
So,
I don't know. I mean,
well, the thing is that what they're looking for is they're looking for that level of sharing and bring people to the event and, you know, increase our reach and let people know who we are, right? The other event was a corporate event, and they just brought in a bunch of experts, and then they brought me in and set me up with interviews and stuff like that, right? And so we did a little bit of branded content where it was like, hey, I'm here at the event with these people. We're talking about this company and their products. You know, that all worked out great. This one, same deal, except what they wanted was they wanted me to interview for like 10 minutes. A handful of their bigger, well-known speakers. A lot of them are people we'd already had on the show, so people knew who they were. And so, cool. You know, I get on and build a little bit of rapport, and then, okay, while we're there, what are you talking about? What are you know, what do people need to know to be ready for your talk and stuff like that, right? And then I just posted them to YouTube and to the podcast feed, and then I gave everybody a discount code if they wanted to go. And while I'm there, I'm planning on doing some full-on episodes with some of the speakers in kind of the same vein, right? Well, where we'll sit and talk for an hour or a half hour, and you know, depending on who it is and what the topic is, and you know, and so that coverage is stuff that they can point to next time and say, hey, you know, we even had JavaScript Jabber at the podcast or at the conference, you know, and he was interviewing people and talking to folks and stuff like that. So it's going to be really, really fun. They invited me to the speakers dinner, so I get to go and talk to all the speakers before the conference. The hotel they put me up in is actually a boat.
What?
And so,
it is Amsterdam. They do have a lot of waterways and cool little. That's sweet.
They have a ton of waterways, so it's going to be fun. Right, and so I've been posting videos to like Instagram and Facebook and stuff, and been saying stuff like, hey, you know, I got a new pillow for my travel, right? Because I didn't have a travel pillow that I like. So I was like, hey, I'm going to Amsterdam for the conference, and I got this because it'll be nice, right? Or, hey, I just booked my airfare. And so, so anyway, just, you know, publicizing their event a bunch, and then working that out. So
That's pretty cool.
And it also
is this
turned
a
out
public event
that
or is it like a private event?
you have to buy a ticket to go.
Oh, okay. I mean,
It's
so
a tech
it
conference.
is. Okay, so it's a tech conference, but I mean, See,
Yeah.
I'm going to take notes here because I want to at least look it up because I'm just intrigued to see how this is all laid out. Is there like an online thing that we're talking about?
Yeah, it's jsnation.com, I think. So it's actually 2 conferences. They're putting on 2 conferences back to back. And one of them is JS Nation, and the other one is React Summit. And React Summit is a framework for.
Yeah. Oh yeah, here we go. Amsterdam. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, it looks like a legit conference, dude.
Oh yeah, it's huge.
Wow.
A bunch of their speakers are virtual. But yeah.
Yeah. I like their 1,000 luckies attending in person. Must be that international flair.
Yeah, they sold out.
Yeah. But I like how they say luckies instead of lucky people. They just call them luckies. So
yeah. Well, I think the whole team is based there in Netherlands, and so
very cool. Well, that would make sense.
Yeah.
It's their local event, so you know they're going to be able to rip the lid off. So having that booth support for you and stuff like that, it's a great way to entice a speaker to come there, right?
Yep.
If they pull out all the stops, make your life easy. That's a great excuse. And then, now, granted, you might have some expenses while you're over there. You know, they're not cover everything,
right?
But if that's a great way to secure a speaking gig. If they're willing to pay for, let's say, airfare, hotel, and set up your booth. After that, I don't mind as a business owner and speaker. Like, I don't mind saying, great, I'll deal with my own dinners and taxis and stuff like that. No biggie, right? But if you took care of the big ticket items, awesome.
Yep. So that's kind of the deal. I'm getting to the point now where I'm actually going to kind of formalize the process for this, where it's like, hey, I will do these things, right, if you provide these things, right? And then at least I have a base package to negotiate it. And the other thing is that a lot of the arrangements can be made by my executive assistant, and so she can jump in and say, set up the interviews and set up the, and they did a lot of that too, to be honest. I mean, they did the intros, and then I email them and say, hey, here's my calendar, here's how we line up the interviews, and that all came together pretty easy. But yeah.
When is this? 2023. So when are you speaking?
I'm not speaking. I'm actually just exhibiting and interviewing
They're
people.
just paying you to attend, and that's crazy.
Basically.
That's crazy. But the beauty of that is that you get to cross-pollinate. You get to meet all the other high-level speakers. That's exciting.
I get to meet the other sponsors. I get to. It's gonna be good stuff. So.
Yeah. So this is literally June 1st. This is Monday.
Yeah. Right? So I fly out. I fly out next Tuesday, and I'm gonna be on that plane forever.
Oh
yeah. And then I'm flying back on June 6th. And I was talking to a marketing expert, and I was like, all right, what is the hook when I'm there talking to people, right? How do I get them to come into my orbit, right? And what he said was that what I need to do is I need to put on my own summit, and I've done that before.
Well, I know we worked together.
Yeah, we did one. He did it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I got you to help my client launch a summit. So that's right. Well, hold on. What came first? We did our summit first, then you did your summit. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So I'm going to put on a summit. It's going to be free to attend. You can pay for the videos, but he's like, you don't even have to have everything figured out. He's like, you just have to have a date and a website that you can send people to.
Very true.
And so, I'm going to be nailing that down before I go, or I might do some of it on the airplane. I don't know. But before the conference starts, I'm going to have that nailed down. And then when I bring people to do the interviews and stuff, some of them are going to be people that I'm going to have speak at the summit. Because a lot of the people there are people that I want for the summit. But the other thing is that, then I can go and I can talk to people, and I've got stickers that are supposed to show up, so
it's
I can give them stickers for the podcast. And
it's a little late, but you got to get one of these.
Yeah.
Have you played with these yet?
Is that one?
The electronic tap business card?
I've talked to a few people that have them. I haven't.
Yeah, that's why I decided to get one. So it just arrived. So that's why I was like, and I ordered it in actually stainless steel, so it's actually metal.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I like the idea of them, just in the sense that it's like scan the QR code.
You're supposed to be able, and again, I see that's why I'm testing it, because I'm not fully in love with this. So I decided to get it, for fuel up marketing, and have my information on there. But I have multiple business. There's multiple Scott Mulvaney's, right? So the HVAC world, because I grow business for my client, Sales Management Solutions. That's why I'm testing it here first for me, and then I'm going to get custom ones done for her and her sales team if I like it.
Right.
But right off the bat, the whole point of the tech is you're supposed to be able to touch it right to the back of the iPhone or a Droid.
Yeah.
And it should transmit and give you the option to save the contact information.
Right.
It's not working through this case, so I'm already not impressed. But they also give you the option of using the new, bringing back the QR code tech. So that you can still take your camera, scan it, and it brings it up that way. The reason why I tested this company, and I'm not plugging them yet, but it's a Mobilo, Mobilo cards from Lulu Systems, is the other feature I liked about their profiling is once you did this, it doesn't just give your business card to somebody. It's prompts on their phone for them to load their information in at the same time. So now it becomes a sales funnel builder for me. So it's like, hey, here is my information, but then I get your information right away. So I like that if and when it works. So I got to do some testing. But
yeah, the one of those that I saw is called Popl, Popl.
Dude, there's now
it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, I've tracked down at least 5 different ones now. And now this was a little bit pricier. I think I spent about $70 just for one card. But again, I hate carrying around tons of business cards. It's so old school. And I like a lean and mean wallet, And again, how many people just throw away your physical business cards? That's what I like about the idea of capture grabbing. Even if they don't save my profile, because it queues it up on their phone for them to load their information, it loads it into my system. So that's what I'm testing right now. So I'll let you know. I'm not going to Amsterdam, but that's my current exciting thing.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious to see how it works too, because what I'd like to do with something like that, and I think some of them have a capability of doing it, is that I can change up some of the information if I go to a different event, right? So I go to JS Nation, and then halfway through the conference, it's now React Summit. So I can change it up and say, okay, now use the code React Summit to get this deal or whatever.
I could go right into the app right now and change what is built into the profile. So technically, just off of that, I already know that if I'm going to a different event next week, I can go in and tweak all of this and have a different email address or a different website address or whatever loaded in my profile. So yes. Now, it'd be cool if I could save that in multiple ways and then just enable the next profile. I don't know. We'll figure it out. So, but I can at least manually change it.
But that's another thing that I could see, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So whatever comes up on that contact card, one of them is going to be, here's the website, right? And just tell them, hey, the website that's going to go into your contacts is the summit, the conference that we're putting together or whatever.
That specific conference generated sales funnel URL that you enable, which you and I talked about before.
Exactly.
Okay. We're talking a lot of business on today's episode because this is how you got to get creative, and all the technologies.
It's what makes a good bromance.
A professional bromance. So, because half my bromances don't do anything online. So. They come over, they have a scotch, and they check out my chainsaws, and then we go mountain biking, a couple days later or something like that. I love having these professional bromances per se because we're growing it together. I could throw a ton of sales and marketing stuff back at you because that's my world, and you can then share with me how this online conferencing stuff, the course building stuff, all that stuff's going because it's a great feed back and forth.
Speaking of the course stuff, that's another change that I'm making is that I had decided like a year or so ago to actually build my entire platform.
Yep.
Because I'm a programmer, right?
Yeah.
And I just couldn't find systems that did all the stuff I want. And I think I figured out how to not have to build it all.
I don't know if there's ClickFunnels or whatever, but it didn't do everything you liked per se and stuff like that. So
Yeah, and I tried. Well, it was ClickFunnels, but it was ClickFunnels 2.0.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just didn't have all the things that I wanted. And then I tried Kajabi because it was supposed to do all of it, and Kajabi's a freaking nightmare.
Well, this goes back to our point earlier. These are the reps we're talking about. A lot of this stuff is trial and error. Just because a website or this ad that pops up in your feeds looks like it's going to do everything you want, you don't know until you try it. You got to put the time in. You know, you're doing late night sessions when you're done doing your other work, or you're catching up over the weekend. I mean, this is all stuff that you and I are doing in our free times because this is not generating income yet. So you got to plug this in those quote free moments.
Yep. But the thing is that if I don't have to build it and I can just pay to have it already done for me.
Yep.
Right.
I agree.
So I'm playing with some of that stuff. But
well, that's good. That's a good segue because we hit our 30-minute mark, which is our new goal, right? And that could be a great segue for the next episode.
I can let you know how it goes because in a month,
Well, you're testing some funnel linking while you're at this event too, right?
Yes.
So you already have some of that in place, and then this is going to get you some great opportunity to see after that. Are you going to be dumping any people at this event into a course feed already? Are you going to be actually testing some of the coursework already, or
no? Not.
But you're going to be queuing them up for a pending course launch.
For the summit, for the summit launch.
Okay. All right.
So I'll have the website up. It'll have the dates and details, and they can just go and enter their email address.
Yeah.
Right. And then as I get commitments from people.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm planning on putting a lot more work into promoting it because I did not get as much traction as I needed out of the last one.
Well, and again, the last summit, you weren't walking into another conference and promoting it. You were hitting your existing email lists and followers. So that was a good test run with just existing followers, existing captured emails. This is a good test run with all new possible audience growth, just from meeting people at a conference. It's very exciting.
Yep.
And again, the big takeaway from this episode for that, outside of bromancing, as we bring the show to a close, is, ladies and gentlemen, social media is not everything. The one thing that you truly can control, that you truly do own, and then you get to decide what they get to see, is building an email list or multiple email lists. But you have to do it. And this is what Chuck's talking about. So you got to grow it, man. And you got to capture it. Because then you can do all this creative stuff later. You can hit people with courses. You can hit people with a book launch or a conference launch or a summit launch. All these other things. Because you got a captive audience.
Yep.
Cool. Well, Chuck, another great show. I want to make sure we got some cliffhangers to follow up on the next month. So safe travels to Amsterdam. And I look forward to hearing the aftermath and hopefully all positive experiences, good travels, great relationships, and also some fun things to see how you build that funnel for the upcoming summit you're going to launch. So, is there anyone you leave behind for the audience? Because we didn't really hit on any of your health and wellness hustles for your own personal growth, but I know you were back doing a bunch of things again. And again, we usually end the episodes with like some final words or some legacy messaging. But is there anything positive you want to share about your own kick-ass personal goals?
I don't know. I mean, I finished 75 hard again.
Nice.
Trying to get into phase 1, it's harder.
Are you well, actually that was my last takeaway. Do you have any events you're trying to track down to possibly book again? I know every year you're trying to get at least one running race or something like that in place to give you something to shoot for, which I think is a great goal setting thing for a lot of people to take away. Plan or commit to an event. It gives you excuse to train and commit these goals. So
I'm gonna do, what did they call it? Anyway, there's a triathlon. It's up north of Salt Lake.
Yep. Like a sprint distance.
It's a sprint distance. It's you run on Antelope Island, which is an island in the Great Salt Lake.
Cool.
And then the bike I can't remember, but anyway. It's a sprint distance. So that's what I'm aiming for. It's in September.
Awesome.
It's in the beginning of September.
I love it, man.
So I'm hitting that. I'm also going on trek for the church. And that's like 8 miles a day for 3 days, walking with the kids.
Cool.
On one of the paws.
So
it's gonna
basically,
kill my wife off.
a chaperone with a little bit more responsibility type of thing.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, and you hold the devotionals in the evening and stuff like that. So.
All right. Well, you got a lot going on.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, hang tight. Give your proper goodbye off the air. Ladies and gentlemen, Chuck Wood returns, and he's going international. So stay tuned to the next episode when he's back and gets to tell us some stories. We get to hear some updates on how things all went. I'm excited because Amsterdam is a beautiful country, a beautiful city, and I can't wait to hear how it all went. So again, ladies and gentlemen, we're here to fuel your health, your business, and your lifestyle. Chuck is officially an online professional bromance. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, you too can live the fuel, and we'll talk to you guys again soon.